What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Good to be here in front of you, and I am happy that you've taken time out of your day to check out today's video. This is part deuce of what's happening in men's fragrance. I had so much to go over that we had to do a part 2. So after this brief intro, we're going to talk about more new releases. I've got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back all you fragrance lovers. Today we're talking about more new releases in part 2 of what's happening in men's fragrance. This next fragrance is actually from Dolce & Gabbana. A lot of people were kind of reticent at first. I think many people, more than before, really enjoy K by Dolce & Gabbana. Now K, the original, was pretty good. It's one of those laundry fresh kind of fragrances with a bit of juniper, a bit of fig in it. And then they released K Eau de Parfum, which is even better, as it usually is, but this one actually is tremendously better than the original. A lot of people really enjoy the Eau de Parfum version and that continuing focus on fig. I think this one had like fig milk and some other accoutrements, some other really good notes that blended well, actually last longer, went beyond just a simple generic laundry fresh fragrance. And now we've got K Eau de Parfum Intense, going to be available in North America soon. Looking forward to this one. Now let's talk about the notes that make up this fragrance. We are continuing our fascination with the note of fig in this. So fig is going to be there. We got a couple of different notes in there. There's saffron. In fact, how they're listed is saffron in the open, fig in the heart, and then leather in the base. So a couple of notes are going to vie for your attention in K Eau de Parfum Intense. I, for one, am a fan of leather, and I really like how modern men's fragrances are taking that textile note of leather and producing it in a fresh and unique and vibrant way. And hopefully K Eau de Parfum Intense is going to be just that. So that's one to keep your eye on and to look out for. Ralph Lauren is a designer that definitely doesn't rest on his laurels. In fact, he puts laurel in fragrance. That would be cool if he did. I don't know. I just made that up. He's produced a lot of fine fragrances lately. And then next new one, it looks like, is going to be Polo in the Polo line, Polo 67. Now on the bottle, you can see it says Polo EST 67, which of course stands for established. So there is significance in that year, not just for Ralph Lauren and Polo, the Polo line, but for myself, because that's the year I was born, 1967. How cool is that? So I definitely, just for that reason alone, am going to get that fragrance, but I'm sure it's going to be good because it's got quite a few really good notes in it. Let's take a look at the notes in Polo 67. Polo 67 is classified as an aromatic fougere woody fragrance featuring top notes of bergamot and pineapple with heart notes of geranium and clary sage, and yes, a base of vetiver and patchouli. You guessed. Now on a laundry list of notes for a modern cologne for man, that's pretty much in every single fragrance. So that doesn't tell us a lot. This particular formula can't really inform us as to what this fragrance is going to be like, but I think it's going to be really good because Polo's standards are pretty high in terms of a designer. So they're going to use some really good quality oils, so we know this is going to be good. And especially it's going to be reflecting of their original established date. So they're using Polo 67 to tell you, hey, we're cool because we've been around this long. So I know it's going to be a good quality fragrance. So be on the lookout if you are a fan of Ralph Lauren, in particular the Polo line, you might want to check out Polo 67. I, for one, know I am. The designer Diesel is known for creating some unique style presentations for their fragrance. Their fragrance is more on the modern side for the youthful kind of cologne wearer. I have quite a few of them in my collection, really like them. I like the fact that they're mixing it up a bit with a new flagship line, and that is the D line. It is a unisex fragrance for everyone, and now Diesel is coming out with a D red, right? So we've got that same style, that bottle style where it looks like the glass is melted around your fingers, your hand as you're holding it, which is kind of cool. It's a unique look, unique presentation. The cap isn't anything special, but it does click into place. You can hold it. So D Red is going to be a version of that. Instead of going like the spicy habanero type red, which most designers do when they create a red genre fragrance, they're going in the more citrus direction. So what are the notes that are going to be in, at least the key notes, in Diesel D Red? In the open, Diesel D Red is going to have grapefruit, there's going to be lavender, and in the base, sandalwood. So grapefruit, the open, lavender in the heart, sandalwood in the base. So that's the trifecta that's going to be in the fragrance. So it's going to be, at least according to Diesel, a more intense aromatic version of the D-DNA. It is going to be an eau de parfum concentration. They're going for something that's more vividly hyper-versatile, trying to attract a target audience that wants a more modern, stylish fragrance for any time wear with Diesel D Red. So if you're a fan of Diesel, and in particular their new flagship fragrance D, you might want to check that one out. Like movies that come out in California months before they hit your theater, your hometown theater, these fragrances aren't in North America just yet, but we're going to see them very soon. Diesel has some cool stuff that I want to own, including this belt and, more importantly, this watch. That is a badass looking watch. I would own that watch. Even though it takes up 90% of your wrist, it still looks really cool. It's an expensive coaster, $450 coaster. The designer Zadig&Voltaire has been made well known by the fragrance community for their release of This Is Him. If you had kids or if you grew up in the era that I grew up in, then you're familiar with an animated movie called The Secret of Nim. And in that movie, someone makes the statement about a secret location that it's on the lee side of the stone. The lee side of the stone. And that's what this is. It makes me think of it is the side of the stone that the sun doesn't hit. It's very cool. Good portion of sandalwood incense, a little bit of grapefruit citrus in the open. Fantastic masculine fragrance that takes sandalwood out of the generic pool that it typically is in and makes it just a bit more unique and definitely sexy. Unfortunately, the last few flankers have been a little bit wanting in my estimation. The last one that I actually purchased was This Is Him Vibes of Freedom. And while it's not a bad fragrance, it's just super light. You're gonna be around somebody for like an hour or two, but it's pretty much gone after that. However, they're creating a new flanker called This Is Really Him, meaning they're not kidding around now. This is the one to get because it's supposed to be the most intense version of the This Is Him DNA thus far. Of course, the iconic bottle is not going to change. It's gonna look exactly the same, like a piece of rock that's just come off naturally, or you took an axe to it, whatever. But it says, again, the most intense men's perfume from Zadig&Voltaire, which I'll believe it when I smell it. Natalie Lorson, of course, is the nose behind all of them. The fragrance opens with a refreshing citrus cocktail of lemon and grapefruit. This intensity then gives way to a captivating and intriguing heart of orange blossom and a metallic silver kind of note. As it evolves on the skin, lively notes of a Palo Santo and amberwood then come to the foreground, which is in the base, those two notes in the base. So again, lemon and grapefruit in the open. We've got orange blossom and a metallic note, a silver metallic note in the heart, and in the base, Palo Santo, which is a kind of wood that's often burned for the aromatic smell, and then amberwood. Looking forward to this one. If it is as intense as they say, this might be the Zadig&Voltaire This Is Him fragrance that everybody wants to own. Right now, it's either This Is Love or this one, in my estimation, so I'm looking forward to that. Those of you that are fans of Zadig&Voltaire, you definitely want to check that one out. There's a concept behind every fragrance. Most guys don't really care, but I do like to tell you a little bit about it. You're going out with some hot chick in Paris, and she says, "Oh, you smell so lovely. What is that you're wearing?" And you say, "This is really him. That's what I'm wearing." Remember that Ethan Hawke movie Before Sunset, or Before Sunrise? I think that was the sequel. Kind of a fragrance for that movie idea. Just like Polo 67 and Diesel D, it's going to be available in 50 ml and 100 ml when it's released. The next fragrance that I want to talk about isn't really a new release as much as it is an upgrade in presentation, and that is Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profondo Eau de Parfum. Now, Profondo is a very well-known fragrance. I love it. It is an EDP concentration. Recently, and I mean 2023, Acqua di Gio Parfum was released, and the bottle has a gradient. It's like dark, and it goes into light to clear at the bottom. And that's essentially what it is. It's going to be a combination of this bottle and then the Parfum bottle, the new look. They call it the collector version on iFragrance, but I don't know that that's the case. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of notes, again, I don't know if the notes are going to be different. This is what they say is going to be an Acqua di Gio Profondo EDP, which of course is going to come in 50, 100, and 150 ml sizes, and it is going to be refillable. That's the way these days, since clean water is getting harder and harder to come across in great quantities anyway, and as time goes on, refillable bottles are becoming more important because of recyclability and things like that, and environmental factors. But the new collector version is going to have in the top marine notes, in the heart aromatic essence, so aromatic notes, spices, and the base is going to be woody mineral amber. So you could say that that's the original, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be a completely new, modern, fresh spin, which would be kind of hard to do because Profondo is an amazing fragrance. I like this bottle myself. I don't really need a gradient. I will get it just so that I can show you guys what it looks like when it comes out. Well guys, that's it for new releases, at least so far. We have announcements of new fragrances coming out constantly, and as I get that information, I'll share it with you. There's not really anything to share in terms of the rumor mill because I did that yesterday. So rumor mill is clear unless you have a new fresh rumor that you want to share with everyone in the comments. Go ahead and do that. But tell me what your most anticipated new release that you're looking forward to getting, that you will definitely plunk down some cash for, either full retail or maybe wait till it hits discounters. Share that with everyone in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.